You're all going to want to see this. See the X on the map there? Yeah, I see it. Why'd you draw it there? That's just it. I didn't draw it. Interesting. Perhaps this is a sign we need to find this place. Maybe... who knows what will be waiting for us. The fuck? Is it a shark? Am I looking at a shark? It's either a snake or a shark, right? But it has gills. Welcome to the Library of Forbidden Knowledge. Try not to mess up any of the books. We're on a mission. We don't have time to get lost in a good book. Well, you never know, do you? Wait a moment. You're a librarian. You've read the fairy tale, haven't you? The one about the wizard. I'm familiar with it, yes. Then perhaps you could help us. Or perhaps not. Where are we? Where are we? How did we get here? Look around. Where do you think? I don't know. He's saying, darling, that wherever we are, we're going to have a hell of a time. You're not honestly saying that I like the short shorts in hell. Welcome to hell! We're in hell? That's right. I'm Orvia, and it is such an honor to meet you all. Wait, when did we die? Let me take a look in the old book of death here. Looks like killed by magical blast in the Library of Forbidden Knowledge. That sound about right? I certainly don't remember that. There was a blinding flash of light. Well, that's the thing about death. Sometimes it sneaks up on you. But no need to worry. As they say, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Your afterlife, that is. I can't believe we're really damned to hell. We shouldn't be here. I'll admit, you certainly don't look the type. Well, I guess we'll call you the fallen angel. How does that sound? There's absolutely nothing fallen about me whatsoever. Hey, I'm just trying to help you fit in a little easier. Well, I can't believe we're actually in hell. That's the thing about this place. It doesn't really care if you believe in it or not. I mean, you're here, aren't you? But why? Where else were you going to end up? I always believed in reincarnation. Reincarnation? For you, world-class sinners? World-class sinners? That's a strange turn of phrase. How so? Surely you're not saying you celebrate sin? Well, of course. This is hell, isn't it? We're all about that sweet suffering. We wear our sins like badges of honor. How monstrous of you! Yes, that's the spirit. This place is magnificently monstrous. What are you talking about? What sins are we guilty of? I certainly did my share of mischief in school. What? Catching butterflies? Well, we don't have any butterflies here. We do have some bats. Since we joined the ship, we've dedicated ourselves to a noble quest. I'm sure we've redeemed ourselves for any prior mild transgressions. You certainly have. Weren't you listening earlier? You've become full-blown sinners. Give us the specifics. What sins did we commit? Oh, nearly everyone in the book. Let me see. First sin on the list, gluttony. I don't see any gluttons here. Don't be so modest. I've seen bigger, but I'm sure you must have had your indulgences. You didn't get looking like that eating carrots, did you? I've eaten plenty of carrots in my day, if you catch my drift. Was that a penis joke? Thank you, music, for dramatically stopping while I said that. I certainly do. We'll get to the sin of lust, don't you worry. I didn't get fat from eating food. There were these coins, and they changed our bodies. And stopped you from dieting and exercise to change them back. Well, not exactly. Oh, it doesn't really matter how or why we look the way we do, does it? What's important is that it isn't a sin. I didn't ask to be this way, it just happened. So I didn't succumb to temptation or violate any moral code. We're always trying to do the right thing. That's what's important, not the consequence of how things turned out. So it was just an accident? Greed and envy, how about those? We're not the last bit greedy. Listen to this girl, not greedy. It says here you're obsessed with a quest for money. The coins, not money. What's the difference? The difference is we wanted the coins for their magic, not their value as currency. So why is it less greedy to want rare magic treasure? Well, when you put it that way, maybe we did commit the sin of greed. No, we didn't. We wanted to help others. We weren't trying to get rich. If we found them all, we could change the world. If you think about it, it was a really selfless act. So you hunted for the coins to help people, like some kind of charity fundraiser? Alright. Clearly you people have a warped sense of priorities. But what about anger? What about it, darling? Surely you're not going to deny being angry. Maybe not in those precise terms. Mila, I think I'm figuring out the system here. I got this one. Rather than burn with anger, our hearts were filled with pure righteous indignation. That sounds more like pride to me. We haven't got there yet. Oops. Think of all the people you've harmed with your anger. What about all the violence, eh? Being a pirate and all, that's gotta be epic. You've also engaged in gunfights, naval battles. Wow, you've been real mad, haven't you? Anger is my response to sin. How are people supposed to know what sin is? We mortals don't get access to your sin book. The moral law is written on your soul. Your mortals call its voice a conscience or some other silly word. But when you go against it, you've sinned, and that creates magnificent misery for everyone. But anger is how I respond to misery. It's how I respond to sin. What are you saying? Anger is the voice that my conscience speaks through. According to you, if I ignore it, I'm a sinner. But if I listen to it, I'm also a sinner. Talk about damned if you do, damned if you don't. I agree, it doesn't sound fair at all. It doesn't have to be fair. Actually, being fair would ruin it. We're not trying to insist on fairness, we're just trying to make sure everything in your ledger is accurate. How unpleasantly honest of you. How about lust? Oh, that's a favorite of mine. Come on, you know you were in it up to your... You really think we're guilty of lust? You're not only experienced at it, but you inspire it in others. That's not true. Liko says here that you used your lustiness to flirt with Darius to expose the fact that he'd been possessed by that ghost Lazaby. Worked like a charm, didn't it? Evil is always drawn to the sin of lust. Why is that a big deal? Darius, I've explained multiple times, I used to be male. Well, as they've explained to me multiple times, I used to be an old man. What's wrong with letting the past be the past? Tam, aren't you trying to encourage lust with your outfit? I am? You mean you like it? I do! It'll inspire filthy thoughts in many people, I'm sure. Fabulous. I knew it was a little garish, but I'm glad that it's working out. Tam, she's not complimenting you. Of course she is. Yeah, Mila, haven't you been listening? I think sin is a good thing. Well, I don't! That's quite a revealing outfit you're wearing yourself for someone that doesn't believe in sin. It's not my fault I look like this. I didn't pick out these clothes, you know. Does that book have an image of me before I started this mission? Not that I can find. Why is lust a sin again? Oh, you don't need me to explain that to you. My records show you've had a conversation with someone named Angie. What does Angie have to do with this? Wait, who's Angie? Just the most pleasant woman who ever lived, Darius. According to this, she once said, all those terrible thoughts, those visions of sensuality that dance in the heads of others, they all cast black marks on your soul. You'll have to answer for them in the hereafter. Well, you've arrived. We aren't guilty of lust. Lust can lead to altruism. Lust might be a sin in the short term, but thanks to lust we can also enjoy long-term committed relationships, as well as children, which in turn leads us to selfless, morally upright behavior. Oh really? You think getting married and having kids helps you to be a good person? I mean, I feel like that's pretty fair. Yes. Well, I think one of you would disagree. Who? Tam Tam. Do you want to tell the story, or should I? You wouldn't dare. Tam Tam's mother felt lost, got married, and had children, just like you said, right, Mila? Stop talking. Nah, I think Mila needs to hear this story. Anyway, her husband was away at war, and so Tam Tam's mother was lonely and experienced lust again. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Tam Tam, should I keep going, or will you admit you were wrong? We were wrong, Orvia, we were wrong. Point is, lust has a way of leaving its mark, and that mark is sweet suffering. I don't know what Tam Tam's mother did. Really? You don't know? I thought that was pretty clear. I don't know what Tam Tam's mother did, but the sins of the mother can't really be passed on to the child, can they? Well, not exactly. Moving on down the list, sloth. When were we ever lazy? Hey, I said you'd done nearly every sin in the book. We've still got one more, and it's a winner. What did we win? A one-way ticket here, of course. What's this sin? Spit it out, darling. You should know, of course, it's pride. Are you saying I'm full of myself? Of course, making a plan to change the entire world. You've got to have a huge ego to do something like that. Well, I haven't puzzled it out yet. From my perspective, I haven't really had time to think this out, but I'm sure the old man had a great plan. If it was so great, why didn't he share it with the rest of the class? He never told me either. I'm not sure he knew himself. Well, I'm sure I would have at least have something pretty profound to say right now. You? Say something philosophical and wordy? I'm so surprised. Maybe the old Darius just wasn't sure what was possible. I mean, we don't really know what would have happened if we did manage to find out the coins. You can't condemn for something Darius hasn't done, right? Well, Darius might not be at peak pride now, but it's Mila here who really takes the cake. Wait, what? How? Look what you did to Darius. How was that a sin? She said she rescued me from being possessed by an evil ghost. But doing that was Tam Tam's idea, wasn't it? She said if we shape the past, we can stop Darius from going into the haunted house. Wait, Tam Tam, is that true? Why didn't you do that? Funny you should ask. Mila, what did you suggest to her instead? There's only one way to save the captain's life. We have to make sure he never goes on this mission in the first place. What? Have you ever heard anything more prideful than that? You thought you were wiser than your captain. Not only did you stop everything he'd do in his future, you erased 22 years past. Mila, why? We'd lose Morgana. You were falling apart after her death. I didn't want to lose you too. That's all it was. I didn't think I knew better than you. It wasn't a sin, alright? I'm sure I could have come up with a better plan than that. Sounds pretty ambitious and prideful to me. See what I did there? You're still doing just fine. Don't worry. Our mission is one of hope and redemption, not sin. Darius, you believe anyone could be saved, even Morgana, who'd lived her life as a real pirate. Maybe he was right. I certainly don't see her in hell with the rest of us. See? It's not prideful to want to help others on a grand scale, is it? I suppose. And there aren't any more sins left, are there? Not in the book, no. What a pity. I can't believe how wrong I was about you. I thought you were the greatest. Now I have to get rid of you and send you back to the mortal realm. Phew, that's a relief. Relief? We should never have been here in the first place, ending up in hell. Who could possibly think people like us ought to belong here? Oh, you think you know everything. Is that it? You think you could do a better job than me? Yes. Of course we could. You suddenly seem confused about it, but I suddenly know the difference between right and wrong. Mila, she already said we could go. Let's not get cocky. No, Liko, you know what? I couldn't agree with Mila more. I guess it's time to say goodbye, and of course it's time for the coins to have their say about the fact that you talked your way out of here. Wait, what? Do I get a new transformation? Mega Angel! Mila, what happened to you? Oh, Darius, such a childlike innocence you possess. I guess the rest of us are little kids too. We didn't figure it out either. Why would the coins change your body to... I don't really know how to say it. Not to worry.
Not to worry, all of you. I'm happy to explain my miraculous transformation.
The coins?
The coins are celebrating my triumph over the demonic forces of evil and doubt. My body has been remade, so that all may see the glorious truth. I'm a being of pure hope and redemption.
When I look at you, I see two huge things. Hope and redemption. That must be them.
I forgive your jealousy, Tam Tam. How did you? Oh, never mind. It's amazing to see it up close. Wait, if I touch that coin, will the same thing happen to me? Probably not, but I wouldn't mind seeing you try, darling. Well, at least we're out. Well, at least we're out of there safe and sound. That's all that matters, right? How many people can literally say they've been to hell and back? Well, you can't. What do you mean? You were just trapped inside a magic book. It was a test. That's what this library is. Books for testing people. So what you're saying is we passed. According to the book, yes, but this certainly wasn't what I expected. It was child's play. I didn't even feel the faintest whiff of pride in my achievement. You know, the point of the test was to teach some much-needed humility. I think this time it may have backfired. Why do you have these tests? To see if you're worthy of the coins. We couldn't just allow anyone to have them, you know. This library exists so that those who gather enough coins might be judged. Each book contains a different challenge. How very wise. Power corrupts, so those that seek it must be held to the highest standard. Though it's truly a pity the judgment couldn't be at the start of the journey rather than the end. Wait, you said those who gather the coins will be judged. Correct. Then that means if Rocky gathers enough coins, he'll find his way here too? Most likely, yes. Rocky, that guy we were fighting? Let's hope he shows up, then we can take his coins too, and we'll have them all, right? This time, at least, we'll have the elements of surprise on our side. We can create an ambush. A cowardly sneak attack? Unacceptable. Rocky ambushed us outside the cave. We'd just be giving him a taste of his own medicine. You prove my point, Liko. If we are to defeat Rocky, we must rise above him, not lower ourselves to his depths. Whatever you decide on doing, if he comes in here, he'll have to take a book challenge too. Well, that's a relief. I can't imagine Rocky arguing his way out of hell the way you did, Mila. I'm not sure he'd even want to leave. Wait a minute. Indigo said each book contains a different challenge. Maybe he wouldn't get that one. Well, I can't say for sure, but yes, he'll probably get a different one. There are quite a lot of books after all. Then we'll just make sure he gets the hardest one. I hope you can speed read, darling. What are you talking about? Tam Tam has a point. There are thousands of books. We might not have time to figure out which one is the most difficult. We'll just have to ask Indigo which one of them he thinks is the hardest. After all, he's the librarian. Well, I'd go with... No, be silent. We're not taking his suggestion. First, you don't want to ambush Rocky, then you don't want to listen to the librarian? Are you trying to make us fight Rocky with one hand tied behind our back? On the contrary, Deliko, I'm ensuring we unleash our full power against him. The wizard never met Rocky, so how can we trust that any of his tests are a fitting way to judge him? Because that's the only way to defeat him, right? No sense in just dumping him into a pit of fire and being done with it. Dear Tam Tam, you may have meant to joke, but what you say is true. And there is only one group of people fit to judge him. We are. Rocky will have to pass a book test, but the book will be written by us. Really? Sounds fun. You know, I've always thought about being an author. Forget if it's fun, is it even possible? You have a literally endless shelf of books to choose from, and you automatically decide none of them are good enough for you, and you need to write your own. How much of a goddess complex can you get? I have no need for your commentary. All I must know is if what I seek lives in the realm of the possible. I suppose so. I've got some enchanted parchment lying around here. If you want to create a book, all you need to do is write it down. what you'd like to see inside it, and it will come to life. The only limit is your imagination. As I expected. My dear crew, we are returning to the ship. All of you ponder your journey.